morning, guys! Today I will be talking about the cost of IVF, how much IVF costs, especially here in England, because a lot of my friends ask me how much money do they need to save so they can start the IVF treatment, or how much the IVF cost here in the UK. So I've got all the invoices in my hand. Just want to make sure that I don't want to miss anything. So I'm gonna break this down one by one and see how much did we actually pay. But I'm gonna tell you now that we've paid about £8,500 for this treatment. Now before I get started, here in the UK we can get free treatments as well, and that will depend on your area. So in some areas in the UK you can get free IVF treatment via NHS. That's the government service. You get that for free. In some areas you can get 2. In the area I live in, and we are only entitled to get 1 free. So in my very first cycle of IVF, got that for free. So that's 1 free cycle. But this time, because this is going to be our 3rd cycle now, we will going to be funding it ourselves. So in my hands are all the invoices that we've all paid for in my clinic. I've never tried any other fertility clinic here in the UK. Even in my previous or in my past IVF treatments, we've only used or got into 1 fertility clinic. So before you get started with your IVF, they will be doing a screening test. So with a woman, that will be a chlamydia test, as if you are HIV positive, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis B co-antibody, those screening tests, and that will cost you about £200. So I've paid that myself. Will, my husband, paid £200 as well, and that is another screening test for him. That's for the to check the sperm, again for HIV screening, hepatitis B, C antibodies, hepatitis B co-antibody. So that's £200. So for the both of us, just for the screening test, that is about £400 in total. That's for the screening test, so that's the invoice here. Now, before I started my IVF treatment, I asked them to do an endometrial scratch. If you're gonna go through IVF, you don't really need to do this. This is just an additional cost. It's just an additional treatment that I want to do for myself, because I do believe that it really plays big parts in the implantation of the embryo. So with the endo scratch, I paid about £350. This is basically an invasive procedure wherein they're gonna scratch the lining of your uterus a bit, and that will help with the implantation when you do your embryo transfer at the end of your treatment. So that's £350. So I've done that. Okay, so for the IVF drugs, and that includes the buserelin downregulation drug, the gonal F stimulation drug, the cyclogest. You need to use that after your embryo transfer. All the injections, so all those IVF drug, that costs us about £1,300. Now in my clinic, they have their own pharmacy, or they're tied up with a pharmacy, so I need to pay that through the pharmacy, and then they will deliver the drugs to me. So that's £1,300. And then for the whole IVF treatment in my clinic, it costs us about £669. That's that. And so we are not just doing an IVF, we are also doing an IVF with ICSI. Now with ICSI, this is when sperm will be injected into the egg directly in the dish, and that is an additional cost in my clinic, and that is £1,200. So that's that. If you wanted to do like embryo imaging, you can have that. That is £500. We didn't want that because we just don't really see the value of it. We've also paid for the HFEA fee, so that's an additional fee for my clinic. That's £80. And during my egg collection, we have managed to, oh sorry, during my egg, yeah, hang on, I'm confused now. Oh, right, okay, so during my egg collection, they managed to get 15 eggs, wherein about 13 fertilized, and then, yeah, no, 7 fertilized, no, 13, no, hang on. So they've managed to get 15 eggs, 13 were mature to be injected by sperm, that's the ICSI, and then fertilized, and then those 7 made into, no, those 7 fertilized, and then 4 of them made to blastocyst. Now, if the embryos goes through a blastocyst period, you will have to pay an additional cost of £500. So we've paid that because we've got 4 blastocyst embryo. And 2 of those embryos were suitable to freeze. They can store them for at least a year. And that storage, that will cost about £750. So we paid that as well on top of the £500, which is the day 5 embryo. And during my embryo transfer, I've asked them to put a tiny glue onto the embryo, so that will help stick the uterine wall. And that particular small glue, that cost about £200. I'm just checking and see if I've missed anything else. I think that's it. I mean, all in all, it costs us about I wish it's £800. It's £8,500. Includes as well when we ran out of the buserelin drug, which you can see on my previous video. That's about £30. We ran out of Ovitrol drug, and I think that's about £50 to £80. So that's on top of all that we paid for. So it's about £8,500. I hope this video helps that are planning to go through IVF, maybe just wondering and thinking about how much IVF costs here in the UK, especially in England. I know it's different all over the world, even in Europe. It's different in Spain, in Germany. It's different in Asia, in America. I think it's even different every clinic here in the UK. I've never tried any other clinic. On my past 3 cycles, we've always used the same clinic, and this is how much we've paid for this year's treatment. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on my next vlog. Bye guys!